Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to show you why I think BTC is going to visit 19,000 in the next couple weeks. If you like the content, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click on the bell, click on all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think this is useful. Also feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, those links also in the description. Without further ado, let's start diving in. We are looking here at BTC USD on the weekly, so there's a very big time frame. That means every candle is a representation of 1 week, and this was the bull market before the last bull market we had. We went all the way up to 20,000, and I quickly want to show you something. That's why I am starting here today, is that we had this mega run up, this very classic blow off top all the way to the top and then just crashing down. And eventually we had that sideways period of time that was approximately 120 days, 126 to be exact. And then we had a move to the upside to approximately 14,000 to then eventually slowly grind lower and to create that higher low on a very big time frame, higher than this one. That was our macro higher low, and then we moved to the upside and we had that mega run after the halving to approximately 66 or 68,000, and you can see that the top here is a little bit different than the previous one because this was a double top where the second top is slightly higher than the first top. That is not so nice. That is actually not so textbook. You want this to be a little bit lower. That would be nicer. But nonetheless, you had this big double top and then we just went lower. Also, this, by the way, is a top formation or top pattern. And then we went lower all the way to approximately 15,500-ish. But as you can already see, the sideways period of time that we had during that flat sideways period at approximately 15,500 was quote-unquote only 60 days, and I was a little bit surprised by that because that is way too short for a real flat accumulation phase where all the interest leaves the market, because you just had this mega dump down. If I'm not mistaken, that was the FTX dump, and then we only within 2 months we had a new run to the upside starting. That was so strange actually, because the previous one, as you just saw, was approximately 120 days, but then after that we still are having our very flat sideways periods of time. So if I'm then looking at what we had afterwards, this was a bit more than 30 days of just flat sideways action. We had 9 days here, we had some flat days here, there were some flat days here. So then eventually if you start adding up these shorter periods of time that we had here in the chart, plus these 60 days here, then eventually you're also getting your approximately 120 days. We are almost there. We are almost at approximately 120 days of real just flat sideways action, and that just means that the chart looks a little bit different, but the cycles measured in the factor of time are still respected. So the factor of time that you have 120 days of accumulation phase. Here 60 days, then here 30 days is already 90, and then some separate weeks where you just have flat sideways action until we are finally getting a bigger move. And why I'm saying that is that I want you to open up to the idea that not every cycle looks the same. You just saw it. The top here was a double top. I just draw it out, and before that we had a blow off top. So it is a top formation, but just it looks different. This is accumulation phase, but it just looks different than the previous one. Now let me quickly move over to another chart. This is also just Bitcoin. The other one was on Bitstamp because that one goes back pretty far in time. But now we are looking at the most bit of a current price action, you could say. And why am I now going towards 19K? Well, I pulled a volume profile here all the way from this price action right here. Some people would say, yeah, you know what, you should actually pull it from the bottom here, but since we had now such a nice period of time here and we had it here, I think it's justified to say, you know what, make the volume profile from this area right here. Then you can see that we just lost this macro value area high, and then it would only make sense for us to go lower to the point of control. That point of control is 19,150 ish. You could also say 19,000. You can also see that I pulled a very macro fib retracement all the way from the bear market bottom to the yearly high. So far, PS, I by the way nailed that top because I said open up your mind for the idea that this might be the yearly high. So far it is, and you can see that if we are then going lower, that this thick yellow line is very close to the point of control, but also the 78.6 of that fib retracement. So we're creating this entire area right here that could be a very, very nice like area in the chart where we could retrace to. It really then actually starts off from 19,500 to approximately 19,000. I like to take out this low. That's why I drew this thick yellow line here, to take out the liquidity underneath this, for people to become very, very bearish, thinking, oh my god, we are going to revisit the lows here, only to spend some time here and then, oh whoops, that was a bit too enthusiastic, to spend some time here and then eventually go higher again. And then this is your macro higher low compared to this low. That actually would be super, super nice. Now there is one other volume profile that also some other people are looking at, and then I will quickly turn the bigger one off and turn the little bit smaller on, and that is actually this period of time where we traded in this range really after that mega dump. So then we're starting from Saturday 12th of June all the way here to, let's say, Sunday 12th of March, and there, funny enough, you can see that also here the point of control is at the exact same area, 19,150. So it doesn't really matter which area you're pulling, that point of control, and that means the most traded volume is at and around 19,000. Now let me quickly pull the bigger one up again. What I also find very interesting to see is that if we're just looking at volume, and I really like to do that because it just shows you where the commitment is of buyers and sellers. If you have a big volume spike, that means that there is a lot of commitment, there are a lot of people buying and selling, and that is most likely where you can find some resistance. It is very unlikely that if you have such a spike in volume that we're just smashing through. As you can also see is that we are right now almost at the clipping point, like almost falling off a cliff, because if we are losing the current level of 25,800 ish, there is just nothing in between. So if we're losing the current level, it is very most likely that this is a very swift move all the way to approximately 24,500 ish, and then later on we will find a little bit more resistance to this high volume node at approximately 23k. Losing 23k is sets the door open to this area right here, where we also have barely enough volume to then eventually go to approximately 21k, and then you're building really up to the lows, to that mega point of control where we had the most traded volume at 19,000. This for me would be a absolute dream scenario, like I already said, because everyone and their mother will become very, very bearish after we took out this low. Everyone would be already a little bit scared after we are going to take out this low, this wick right here at 24,000. And then people also see, hey, there is no market structure here, we are going to lose it, and then we are going eventually lower if the volume here will help us out a little bit. People will become very, very scared after taking out this low, start selling, and then they're just selling at the bottom. And this 19,000 could be a nice higher low. Then also would really put the nail in the coffin for a lot of bears that are thinking this is not the low, we are going lower, 10k, 12k, you know, all those stories. And then we are just creating that macro higher low, and soon after that, a few months later, there will be the halvening, and then eventually we are off to the races. The idea is then also, of course, the same as what we had here in this bull and bear market, that eventually we are going to create a higher low on a very much macro time frame, and then going higher. This of course was also a little bit of a black swan event. If I'm not mistaken, this was the COVID dump eventually, so it doesn't have to go this deep. When I looked from the top to the bottom, then I saw that this was a retrace of 71%, and this would give us from the yearly high back to this level 40%. to go all the way back to 70%, that yeah, it's a little bit impossible, because then we would really create a much lower low, and we would go to what is it, the low 5,000, 8,000, 7,000. I don't believe that, but this actually would still be a very nice level for us to go lower. If we are not reaching it in the golden pocket, that's also fine. It's a little bit of a bummer, because then we are not taking out this level. But if I'm just looking at the confluence that we have at 19,000, bigger point of control, smaller point of control, taking out the liquidity, 78.6, it just all lines up, and it would really work also from a psychological point of view, where people are just getting very scared, selling at the bottom. That was it. Spend some time, boom, off to the races. So my macro target, what I really hope and what would be super nice, 19,000. If we reach it, I am loading up the bags, 100% sure, but I will already start limiting from the levels above, from the levels above, because of course I don't want to miss it. In case I'm wrong, I just already want to be able to then load up more bags than I already have. That will be it for now. If you like content, please do me a favor, like, subscribe, click the bell, click it all so you don't miss anything. Leave me a comment, share this video with your friends if you think this is useful. Also, let me know in the comments if you agree with me or not. And see you guys very soon again in the next one. Bye bye.